about to get real, keep it live, that's right. From Pennsylvania to across the globe, it's time for the Steelers All-Star Show.
Welcome to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. My name is James Strong, joined once again by my co-hosts Nick Pretzel and Jill from Ohio. Folks, how are you doing on this chilly Saturday morning?
Living the dream. Ready to talk some Steelers football. Nick, how you doing?
You know, I'm coming to you from a different location. It's a little strange. I'm in Cody's recording studio this fine morning, so my audio is much crisper. It's a strange experience, but Cody unfortunately unable to join us this morning, but we'll be getting the show uploaded, and so I was able to come on over to his place, do the recording, doing well. James, how you doing on this fine morning?
Doing good, man, on yellow hoodie morning.
Yellow hoodie day.
I missed the memo, and I'm so sad.
Not planned, but
Not planned at all.
A coincidence, but hopefully this weekend is a fun weekend for all of us when it comes to Steelers versus Chargers, but tons going on previous to the game that we've got to talk about. The trade deadline came and went. Lots of people upset that Pittsburgh didn't make the big move, but honestly, I feel like the Kyle Duggar move was the big move.
Yep.
Not on this show.
Yeah.
Not on this show.
Not on this show, absolutely. We do have some transactions to speak of, though. So Pittsburgh did release a couple guys from the practice squad, defensive end KJ Henry and wide receiver John Rhys Plumlee. Yes, that John Rhys Plumlee that was just signed to the practice squad less than a week ago. So very short stay for him, unfortunately. But they did that in order to make room for defensive back Daquan Hardy and a linebacker, Mark Robinson. So Mark Robinson back in the black and gold.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys feel about having his run thumper and special teams coverage capabilities back in the black and gold?
Seeing as I'm in Cody's chair and house at this point in time, I feel the need to say that I'm very excited that Mark Robinson is back. I know Cody, he was a darling of Cody's, so I'm sure Cody's thrilled. But we love to see another special teams guy, especially since Wilson's been playing so well on the defense. You don't want to see him getting more special teams work. So with the loss of Miles Killebrew, to bring back a guy who was in that system, who had success, to be able to have him on that team, give gum-chewing Danny Smith another weapon for his pristine special teams. Gum fears that man. You can sense him coming from a mile away. But very glad to see another capable special teamer who is familiar with the team and who's been on the team before to be able to come in, be elevated from that practice squad, be able to contribute in meaningful ways, especially since now we can't bring Trey Sermon back up unless we want him on the 53 for a few weeks.
Right. Those were kind of my thoughts too. I would like to see Peyton Wilson more on the defense, taking more snaps at defense versus the special teams, even though he's played like a stud last week. But to have Mark Robinson, who already knows the play call, like already has that relationship and is kind of a seamless transition in, made me happy. So I'm excited to see how we utilize him.
Yeah, honestly, last couple of years, Mark Robinson excelled on special teams. He wasn't just on special teams. He was forcing fumbles and really doing a great job on the kick and punt coverage units. So I'm excited to see him back, even if he doesn't play on the actual defense, just because of how well he played on special teams. Speaking of people playing well on defense and or special teams, specifically on defense, Alex Highsmith gets AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance last week, playing on one ankle, which is impressive. But what a huge performance from Alex. We touched base a little bit on it on the show, the recap show, but well deserving of these accolades, in my opinion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
His ankle's probably.
Yeah, no. Love to see him. He earned that, in my opinion. Peyton Wilson might have also earned it, so a little surprised that he didn't get that nod as well with the way he tore up the field. But
no, he got a drug test.
Yeah, he got rewarded with a drug test. Alex Highsmith gets rewarded with the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Hey, I'm happy because those results came back clean. Peyton Wilson's just a monster. He's an animal. So reminds me of on the offensive side of the ball back when we had the Vanimal Vance McDonald, who was able to go out there and tear stuff up, and just love to see how hard he plays and the motor that he has. And we talked about it a bit in the recap show. Really glad that he fell to us because clearly those injury concerns are not much of a concern anymore. So really happy we got him where we did because he's looking like a steal of a draft pick from the 4th round.
Ooh, this just in. Turns out Peyton Wilson's blood is 100% dog. That's right. Peyton Wilson, certified dog. So, love having him on the defense. Both these guys, just tremendous weeks last week. So let's see how they followed up. Very important. For a long time now, Pittsburgh's been running with 52 men on the roster. They decided to change it for a day and brought in a defensive tackle from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice squad, ironically enough, since they stole one from our practice squad. Nose tackle Broderick Martin. There's actually another surname on the end of that now, which was not the last name that he had when he came into the league. Yeah. So I'm assuming there's going to be like an honoring of a stepfather or something going on like that. That's usually the case that is. But Broderick Martin, a former 2023 third-round draft pick of the Detroit Lions. So this is a very recent high pick. He's a mammoth of a man, 6'4", almost 6'5", 330 pounds, 35-inch long arms. And for me, the year that he came out in the draft, I was all about this dude because I always watch the Senior Bowl, always watch the East-West Shrine game. Mm-hmm. At the East-West Shrine game, this kid dominated. He was just pushing people around, and I get it. Some of the offensive line talent in those games is not that great. You know, a lot of 5th, 6th, 7th, even undrafted type guys competing in those games. But Broderick stuck out like a sore thumb as drastically better than everyone he was playing against in that game. I believe he even forced a fumble in that game. Just was extremely disruptive. So I'm very excited about this. I think this is a huge pickup and a guy that can be an important piece of trying to grow this unit together. The teams he played on before both ran 4-3. We run a 3-4. So it could be that the nose tackle position is exactly what he needs for his highest amount of success. Bless you, Joe. And good job on the mute button. Honestly, I'm really excited about this one. This could be a guy that's that next piece. When we talk about the defensive line, who are the young guys that we're going to go forward with? Keanu Benton looking better every week lately. Derek Harmon looking good. Y.A. Black starting to turn the corner and starting to put some good games together. It was dominant in the preseason and then kind of quiet. But who's next in the group, right? Who else can we really form this group around? Because Cam Hayward isn't going to play forever. Well, right. Here's another Y.A. Black-sized guy that we can stick out there, stuff him in the middle, and then on 4th and goal, on 3rd and short, that kind of stuff. Good luck moving these mountains that we've acquired on the defensive line because Harmon's 335, Y.A.'s over 340, this kid's 330, and then Cam Hayward, the strongest of all of them on the other side. Keanu Benton's no joke at 310. Like, this is a beefy defensive line who's got great length. So maybe this is just what we've been looking for all along. I don't know. But
I like the move.
I'm excited about this kid. He gets my can pop of the week.
Wow.
So
I may as well join you on that there, James. We'll be
there we go. Cheers to having Broderick Martin as member of the Pittsburgh Steelers for at least the next 3 weeks. Hoping to see him get a helmet this week. I'd love to see him in a few short yardage situations out there in the middle of the field to see if they can move him or not, because my guess is they won't be able to.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of thinking with that addition is like we'll see him in those short yards. So hopefully I'm looking for that he gets a helmet and that we see him in those short yard situations where we can just stuff him.
That's it. So Pittsburgh couldn't go too long with a 53rd man on their roster without coming back down to 52 for some reason. So shortly thereafter, deciding to release DeMarvin Leal from the 53-man roster. DeMarvin was not originally on the 53 at the beginning of the season, but injuries with Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig kind of forced their hand to have another outside linebacker on the team. Now, the unit seems pretty healthy these days, so it's a logical move. So I get it. It makes sense, but that opens up that doorway for what we've been talking about for a while, right, guys?
On Will Howard, I would assume.
The question is, will they do it today? Or will they do it before Wednesday? Because Wednesday is it. The
Yeah.
21-day window ends for Will Howard on Wednesday. So if he's going to be brought up, it needs to be before Wednesday.
Do you think they'll wait till after the game, or do you think they'll do it today?
I think they're so comfortable with running 2 quarterbacks because they've done it almost the entire season that they're going to do that again.
And then wait.
And wait. Just like we discussed a little bit previous to the show, we were talking for a little bit. I think this is going to be the oh crap move. If something happens, a major injury in a key position where you have to go out and get somebody else to bring them onto the roster, they're going to hold off just in case on that. But
Yeah.
you never know. If a corner goes down, it might force your hand to up your offer to Asante Samuel Jr., and then he's the guy that gets the 53rd spot instead.
Yeah.
So who knows? We'll see. But there's still the Scotty Miller thing, too. So if you have to get another person, you could throw Scotty to the IR.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I hope it's Will Howard, though. I would just really like to see him get some snaps so that, especially since we just saw nothing in the preseason. So to actually see him take a couple snaps in the pros, I feel like it's going to be necessary for him to decide what happens next year.
Absolutely.
So
Well, and especially too with a little bit of some of the noise I've been hearing in other circles. James and I are both big fans of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. They do a lot of examination of upcoming draft picks. I'm always big on the NFL draft. And they recently did the Fix Your Franchise for the Jets because Connor Rogers is a huge Jets fan. The Jets have been kind of tanking this year a little bit, just made those big moves to get rid of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, getting a lot of draft capital back in return. And they seems to be of the mindset, and they're kind of plugged in. Connor's involved with a lot of college game day stuff. He's involved with the college scene. Trevor, huge into the NFL scene. And they were kind of on the fence about all of that draft capital being for a quarterback this year, as opposed to being, hey, this class is a little bit of a down class compared to what everyone originally thought, seeing the tape this year, thinking Arch might go back, thinking Lenora Sellers might go back. So looking at the future of this team, you're like, okay, are they going to be able to use the capital they have to move up and get a guy? Or are they going to have to kind of roll with what they have next year, see if they can get Aaron to stay for another year, see if they can bring in another veteran for a year or two deal to be able to mentor a guy like Will Howard, who might be able to be that Tom Brady shot in the dark experience where you get a guy who's got a really solid work ethic, who was overlooked by a lot of teams, who wants to prove them all wrong, who sits behind a veteran quarterback, who can then come in with a low pressure situation. Expectations are not as high for a 6th, 7th round draft pick, and then be able to go into a system with the pieces around them to be able to move forward and do what they need to do. So it's really interesting to see the moves that they made, especially with the lack of movement at the trade deadline to hold on to all of these picks, to be able to say, hey, maybe we go into next year and just build the team we need to put around this kid and then see how that works. If it doesn't work out, hey, maybe we have a high enough draft capital pick next year to be able to go and get that guy to be that replacement. So it kind of removes a little bit of pressure. And I think it's a great move by Khan to not fall into the pressure of we need to make a big move now kind of thing. Try to win this year. We can still win this year. We've proved that we can beat the NFL's premier offense for the time being in the Colts. Why not roll with what we've got and make the one move we need to fill the hole that we have from some injuries we had? Roll with the guys we've got for now, and then be able to take all the capital that we have into the draft in Pittsburgh, build the team we want to build, and then see if we go quarterback or if we can wait next year and see if there's a better crop of guys. So it'll be interesting to see those moves play out. I just love the draft and seeing some of that come out of Omar's office with Tomlin and all that there, and seeing the moves we did not make and the moves we did make. And then also to be able to see other teams kind of doing a little bit of a QB panic this year kind of leads for some fun dynamics, seeing what happens for the rest of this year and going into April for the draft in Pittsburgh, which we plan to make some appearances at. So
we're going. We're going. I'm determined at this point. So it's Henry's birthday around the draft. So off topic. But I was like, we'll have him on the show. He would be on cloud 9.
Very cool. Yeah, I agree with you, Nick, on this. It feels like maybe the quarterback in this upcoming draft class won't be the move for Pittsburgh after all. just because so many other teams have really stocked up. The Jets stocked up, the Browns stocked up. These teams are poised to get a QB in those top 5 picks. If they don't have a natural pick up there, they have the ammunition to easily trade up there and get them. So it might be the draft to build the rest of the roster and get to the point where you're just a quarterback away. Mm-hmm. And then if you're just a quarterback away, here, take my 4th round pick, 3rd round pick, 2nd round pick, trade the whole draft to go up and get your quarterback because you got everything else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of assets Pittsburgh's going to have going into this upcoming draft class. So, very interesting to see how this plays out, no doubt. And in the Will Howard, like 6th round pick comparison, as far as like Tom Brady, obviously we don't know anything on his pro capability yet because he hasn't taken a snap yet. But we do know he's bigger, stronger, and faster than Brady was when he came out. And that's a low bar to set because Brady was an awful athlete when he came
and a national champion, though.
And a national champion. And a national champion. So
who was overlooked as well.
And honestly, I don't think he had the teacher that Rodgers is. Rodgers is showing himself to be one heck of a teacher in that class, in that whole team. And if he gets another year with Will Howard, man, this kid could end up with a lot of pointers. I mean, it worked out real well for Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love was a 1st-round pick. Will's a 6th. But, like, still, when you get the opportunity to sit behind somebody that's that intelligent, that picks apart film that much, that says, hey, you can come to me if you want to, if you don't like how many targets you're getting, and we'll go look at the film and see what's going on. Like, Aaron Rodgers is all about the film, all about studying the game, all about being a student of the game. And at this point in his career, he's being a teacher of the game, which you couldn't ask for a better leader of the team. So,
and that's why I feel like he's – sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm done.
Well, that's why I feel like he's so successful and is bringing such a good culture to our team where it's like he is having an impact that is going to go beyond this year.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just at his position. Like he's talking to he's talking to his wide receivers, his tight ends, like let's work together and like we can talk about what's going on. And it's not so much of a me show. Like we don't have the diva wide receivers that are throwing fits because they're not getting the ball thrown to them. Like Rodgers is going, I have tape. Let's talk about why it's maybe not working because maybe you're not open in this drive, like kind of thing. So I feel like he's doing such an impactful work on our team we're going to like reap the fruit of that for multiple years. It's not just a this year incident.
Absolutely.
I think the team as a whole is becoming that way too, not just like, and much of that probably is Aaron's leadership, but in previous years we saw people getting frustrated at each other. We heard problems coming from the locker room of people not being on the same page, all that kind of thing. And this year we're seeing Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson going after a guy that's shoving DK across the field. You know, it's like we see this team gelling. We see them being coachable, in DK learning from poking a guy in the eye the previous week to keeping his arms down and letting the guy push him across the field the next week. So we see this team becoming coachable again. We see them becoming a family again, and we see them becoming a unit again, which is something that's very encouraging because we haven't had that in the past few years where we've had people doing TikTok dances on people's logos and people crashing out when they don't get the ball and just like different things that we saw that weren't what we are used to with this Steelers team and with this organization. So to see us go back to form in that regard is very encouraging as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. You guys ready to move on to the injury report here? We got a lot to talk about there. So Nick's struggling with the cat in the room there.
Cody's little cat T'Challa is hanging out here, so podcast cat up here. He's the black and yellow. James and Jill are the yellow. T'Challa's the black. Yeah, I'm allergic to cats, so if you hear me clearing my throat or see me muting up a lot, it's purely because T'Challa and I here don't mix too well, but he's a good cat.
He absolutely is. So let's get into this with the Steelers side of the injury report here. Official game designation, Scotty Miller is officially out with that finger injury again. The speculation being it's broken. Will Howard listed as questionable, but he's been practicing in full. My guess is probably running the scout team, which is awesome experience for him. Corey Trice listed as questionable, but he has not been practicing since injuring that knee while coming back from a hamstring injury. So that's a real bad sign for him. Jabril Peppers listed as out with that quadriceps injury still. Didn't participate this week, so he will not be playing this Sunday's game. Cole Holcomb with the illness still out. Joe and I were talking about this previous to the show starting. This is concerning. It's very rare that somebody has an illness and misses 1 week, let alone 2.
Yeah.
So if you're the praying type, pray for Cole Holcomb. Nobody has a clue what he's going through right now, but it is very rare for an NFL athlete to be sick enough to miss 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's hope for the best that it's just like a real nasty flu and he's having a tough time with breathing or something, and it's not something way worse than that. But you got to be concerned for him at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
Then our final game designation being Isaac Seumalo, who has been listed as out with the pectoral injury. So that
Not
must
the jumbo package.
Yeah. Well, here's the positive thing. We have had some leaks saying that both Ryan McCollum has practiced as the extra offensive lineman. Also, Andres Pete. So look for Andres Pete to get a helmet this week, he's been a healthy scratch all season long with Seumalo out. He'll definitely get a helmet. Who will be the 6th offensive lineman? We're going to find out. Maybe both of them get a shot at it. I don't know. But at least they're both getting some practice reps, which is definitely a good thing. So appears as though Chuck Clark is back from his illness. He was down at the same time as Holcomb, so he was a full participant. Should be good to go. Alex Highsmith did battle that ankle this week. He was full by the end of the week. Should be good to go. Darnell Washington had a foot injury this week. He's full, good to go. Johnny Smith got some rest days along with Hayward and Watt. Also, Connor Hayward had a knee creep up on him this week. He did miss a day, then he came back full. So whatever it was must have been exceedingly minor because usually you miss some time when it comes to a knee, but it is possible to tweak something, have it hurt at that moment, and then be fine within a couple of days. Seems like that's exactly what he's going through. So best case scenario seems to have happened for Connor Hayward there. Anything you guys want to speak on any of these folks from the injury side of things?
Just happy to see a lot of those guys come back to form. You hate to see people go down, especially when it's on your team. But happy with some of the guys that are back. Hopefully Seumalo continues to rest because it will be good to have him back. Even though he's not been the premier offensive lineman on the team this year, the play obviously declines when he's not on the field, at least for right now. The jumbo package works better with him in there. Hopefully we'll see success with Andres Pete and Ryan McCollum getting a bit more play time. And the other guy that I'm really excited to see who is not on the injury list, who was when he got with the team, is Kyle Duggar. He didn't stand out to me on the defense, which is amazing when you come in on a short week and immediately get meaningful offensive snaps and a number of them. So being able to see him get a full week with the team, learning the defense more, I'm excited to see hopefully some exciting play because it wasn't exciting last week, but that's good because he wasn't getting burnt.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see him and Ramsey out there because Tomlin did allude to Ramsey's being full-time safety this week. So Jill's excited. I'm excited. James is excited. The whole show is excited. I'm pretty sure all of Steelers Nation is excited after his performance last week. So looking forward to that. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to hopefully catching this game at the Edinburgh Hotel Bar because I do not get NBC. So I'm probably going to be there watching the game. So if you come on down, you might catch me there.
Absolutely. And supporters for Steelers by the Lake is provided by the Edinburgh Hotel Bar, serving a variety of lunch and dinner specials every day, including steak, seafood, Italian pasta dishes, and more. They're located at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinburgh. Information is available at 814-734-5103 or online at edinburghhotelbar.com.
I'm probably going to be going for a basket of the onion rings. I'm a sucker for onion rings.
I love that.
Just like the Steelers have 6 rings.
Better be at least 6 of them in that basket, right?
Oh, it's a big basket. They treat you good there at the hotel bar, let me tell you. They're
No,
battered, just like the Colts offensive line is bad, or the Chargers offensive line is battered, which we'll get into as we talk depth chart here.
yeah. Colts injuries first. Either one of you guys got that pulled up? I can keep going if you don't.
I do not at the moment. I do have the
Okay.
depth chart.
Okay, cool. Let me continue on the injuries then, and I'll let you take over on depth chart. So game status, guys, for the Chargers. Defensive lineman Deshaun Hand is questionable with a groin. Looks like he's on the 21-day window coming back from the IR. Same with their long snapper, Josh Harris. Long snappers, very important. Very
Just
important,
the
guys.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Their offensive tackle, Bobby Hart, has been listed as out with a knee/ankle injury. He's a backup. He's not even one of the starters, so that puts him down to like fourth string on the offensive tackle. Wide receiver Keandre Lambert Smith has a hamstring and is questionable. That's a former Penn State Nittany line. I recognize that name. Defensive back Leonard, with a knee. He's also coming back from the injured reserve. A couple cornerbacks in Tarheeb still doubtful, and Benjamin St. Juste with a groin is questionable. So they've got a lot going on here. Offensive line pretty beat up. Defensive backfield pretty beat up. Both their starting offensive tackles are out for this game. It looks like the number one backup is out also. According to their Friday participation, guard Mekhi Becton is a full participant, so he'll be starting again at right guard. Keenan Allen got some rest days this week, but he was full, so he'll be going. And then safety Tony Jefferson looks like he has worked his way back from an injury as well. So healthy in some areas, very, very banged up on that offensive line and in the cornerback room. And apparently a backup long snapper going to be snapping for him.
And we saw what happened when a backup returnman was in for the Colts. You know, when you have backup special teams play, it can be a dagger. So we will hopefully see some quality special teams play on our end, especially bringing back a guy Mark Robinson, who's been with the team before. So hopefully see some quality play there.
Absolutely. So let's kick over to the depth chart for the Chargers on the offensive side. Nick, do you want to start off with the QB, Justin Herbert there?
Absolutely. So Justin Herbert, starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers. James is looking like me over there with how much he's coughing then. But in any case, backing him up is another high draft pick in Trey Lance, who's bounced around the league a little bit since being picked by the Niners. Excuse me. Herbert has dashed us before in a couple of our matchups. He's been in a number of weeks their leading rusher, so definitely somebody you got to watch out for the legs for. Nothing we aren't used to in having to face Lamar Jackson twice a year, so hopefully we can contain him in the same way that we try to contain Lamar half the year. But we've got running backs as well, moving down to that list because that's where the quarterbacks end. As we mentioned, very banged up at running back. There are currently 4 running backs on this depth chart. 3 of them are on IR, which leaves Kamani Vidal as the lone running back listed on their 53 currently.
They're listing Hassan Haskins, it looks like, on their site as well.
On ESPN, he is listed as also being on IR.
Gotcha.
But they do have fullback Scott Matlock as well. So we can fullbacks matter too. So he is also a part of that running back room. But very banged up in terms of running backs. That's something we can really take advantage of, seeing as they don't have Najee Harris, who we are familiar with, and first round rookie running back Omarion Hampton as well, who was having a good year before he went down with this injury. So Pittsburgh should really be able to capitalize on that, be able to hopefully make a more effective pass rush by just shutting down the run. Hopefully can see how we can play things out there. Wide receiver, pretty solid room here. We got Ladd McConkey listed as wide receiver 1. Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston are the other 2 starters. All of these guys are solid. Ladd McConkey was a darling of mine coming out of the draft from Georgia. Solid receiver. Keenan Allen's been with the team before, had a short stint with the Bears, came back. And Quentin Johnston, everybody had kind of written off until this year when he kind of started popping off. So this is where the team can really kind of hit us. They're capable in the receiving game, and hopefully we can get that effective pass rush, do a little bit of what we did last week against the Colts and kind of shut them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you gotta be a little concerned about a guy as talented as Ladidi McConkey. Very, very seriously skilled route runner, very talented wide receiver. It's going to pose a serious challenge for our defensive backs in covering a guy that's that talented.
Yeah,
absolutely. Tight end Aronde Gadsden is the premier tight end here, who kind of just came out of nowhere in recent weeks.
Rookie
has been very effective. Excuse me.
Yeah, very talented kid, very quick receiving tight end. I believe this is his rookie season, and he's making quite an impact. So definitely going to be a challenge there too.
And in that room, there's also a number of guys who have been around the league. So a couple of veterans. They've got Tyler Conklin and Will Dissly listed towards the back end of the depth chart, with Tucker Fisk being a bit ahead of them there.
Yeah, so very deep room there, no doubt about that. Some great experience, but with Pittsburgh's struggles covering tight ends at times, Gadsden definitely going to be the tough matchup there.
But do we think having Ramsey playing safety now?
Huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's very huge.
I feel like we're looking at our defense in a whole new light now that we have him playing safety. So
he did an incredible job last week against Tyler Warren, and was really Pittsburgh's been the only team to hold Tyler Warren in check this season. Has a lot to do with how well Jalen Ramsey played against him. So that's an excellent point, Joe.
It seems to elevate the other corners' play too. The other DBs seem to play better with Ramsey sort of having that sort of float around, command the defense a little bit from that position. Excuse me.
Well,
moving.
Oh, go. Sorry, God.
Nope, you're good.
I was like, hopefully we play strong coverage instead of the soft coverage, because that's where I think we will potentially give up a lot of points, especially with these stud receivers. Like, if you're gonna soft coverage them, then they can run a clean route. There's no hope.
Absolutely. Moving from left to right here, we've got the offensive line in Trevor Penning, Zion Johnson, Bradley Bozeman, Mekhi Becton. There he is, James. I got him on the right team this week and at the right position. And right tackle, Bobby Hart is listed as out. He's backed up by Trey Pipkins III. So there's a number of backup guys on this roster, probably as a product of the fact that they are super banged up. You notice no Joe Alt, no Rashawn Slater. Those guys are out injured. So this is a very banged up offensive line that Pittsburgh can definitely take advantage of in the coming week here, coming up tomorrow at the game. Any other thoughts on the offense here before we switch to defense?
Yeah, big time. I'm hoping that they start Trevor Penning at left tackle. Rumors coming out of Los Angeles that we're going to see John Maurice Sawyer, the backup guard, as the left tackle. He spent a little bit of time there. Penning has played tackle in the NFL and failed at it pretty miserably. So he got kicked inside to guard for most of his professional career at this point. If he's out there at left tackle, this is going to be a field day for Alex Highsmith and for Nick Herbig. These guys will go right up the arc against him. That's not a problem against Penning. He's a very big, very strong dude. It's just the lateral agility, the ability to kick slide and get out there versus those speed pass rushers has been a very serious problem for him so far in his NFL career.
All signs point to him being the starter, so hopefully we do see that. Again, Pipkins is listed as the backup to both him and Bobby Hart, and with Bobby Hart being designated as out for this game, I don't anticipate him backing up Penning. And all the other names back here are like Jamari Slater, Andre James, Foster Sorrell, guys that you probably don't want to be trotting out there for your starting guy either. So whether we see Penning or not, it should be a field day for Highsmith and Herbig on that left side there, hopefully. Yeah. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, and we'll start with excuse me, the edge or the line here. We've got Justin Eboigye. I'm probably mispronouncing that there, James. and we've got there's a lot of names here. I'm
sure I can
channeling
help
my
you,
inner Cody
Cody.
and not being able to pronounce names while being in his chair. So we've got nose tackle Tier Tart. We're gonna go with that.
Correct. Yep.
Naquan Jones rounds out the line there on the right end. All the rest are listed as linebackers so far. Jamari Caldwell.
I'll tell you what, let me go off of the Chargers depth chart here because I think that's going to be a little more accurate. It sounds like the NFL just kind of went generic on this. So they've got 3 defensive linemen listed as starters on the Chargers roster, on like the Chargers website, with Jamari Caldwell being the 3rd defensive lineman. Edge rushers being Khalil Mack and Tui Tuiapelotu, which Tui has been incredible as a pass rusher. Their backups being Odafe Owe and Bud Dupree, who have also been very productive. My understanding is Owe's had like 4 sacks since coming to the Chargers roster. So he's been a real problem for Pittsburgh in past years in his pass rushing because of how fast he is to get up that arc. So definitely someone to keep an eye on here. Off-ball linebackers, Dion Henley and Denzel Perryman. I don't know if that matches up with what you're looking at on ESPN there.
Has them as right and left interior linebackers, excuse me.
Yeah. So similar concept here because it looks like they're kind of listing it as almost like an odd nickel for the starting. This is weird, man. They got 5 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. So it's like they're listing a 5-2 as their base defense, which is like the old Bears defense back in the day.
But ESPN has Caldwell listed as the backup nose tackle. So
yeah, which I don't know who the starting nose tackle would be. Then do they have Tier Tart?
Yeah, with what they have listed.
Gotcha. So and this could just be one of those technicality things, like how Pittsburgh was doing with listing Darnell Washington as a starting tight end, but also Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth. So there were technically 3 starting tight ends. So teams can get kind of creative based off of who they like. In the secondary, the starting corners being Tarheeb Still and Dante Jackson. That's right, Dante Jackson, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, the undersized corner who got hurt nonstop. So we've got a battle of who will be hurt first, Dante Jackson versus Darius Slay in this game, both of whom seem to be in competition for Mr.
Place your bets now.
Yeah, place your bets.
My money's on no play Slay.
Yep.
No place. I don't know. Dante Small Jackson might have my vote. I'm not sure on this.
He's actually been quietly having a good year for the Chargers, though. So interesting to see him have a little bit of a bounce back. Hopefully that doesn't continue against us.
Right.
I mean, if you looked at his numbers in Pittsburgh, you would have thought he was having a good year because he had 5 picks, but he was getting torched anytime he didn't get an interception.
Yeah.
So you kind of never know with these guys. Safety position, Derwin James, who is just like the jack of all trades. He'll line up as a linebacker, as a pass rusher, as a safety, as a slot corner. They use him everywhere, and he is extremely talented. And then the other starting safety being Elijah Molden. So definitely some opportunities in that secondary, but you better know where Derwin James is at all times.
Absolutely. Moving on to special teams, because special teams matter, as we've covered many, many times. Place kicker is Cameron Dicker, the kicker. Punter is J.K. Scott, who's also listed as the holder.
Just kidding.
What's that?
I said just kidding.
Oh, okay. Punt returner is Darius Davis. He's also got kick return duties. He is backed up by Ladidi McConkey. And then we've got the only long snapper listed is that Josh Harris, who's on IR. So not sure who they brought in or who they're using to back him up, but I'm sure James Strongator's got the guy for us over here.
That's why I use team websites. Absolutely. Rick Lovato listed as the starting long snapper.
Just ask the Cincinnati Bengals. Long snappers matter.
Very, very important to know who your long snapper is. I'll tell you one thing. This special teams unit, the kicking game is good. What's not good is the kick coverage.
So bad.
Jill and I were talking about this previous to the show. We had a little conversation. So, Nick, if you had to guess, where do you think the kickoff coverage unit ranks for the Chargers, 1 through 32, on how many yards they're allowing? Number 1 being the least amount of yardage allowed. Number 32 being the most amount of yardage allowed.
Looking at some of the scores here and seeing how they've had a lot of close games,
Don't cheat.
I'm gonna say we're gonna go slightly conservative here, and we're gonna go 31.
31. You're very close.
Very close.
They're 32.
30th?
32.
32.
Yeah, I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. So
Now, if you had to guess on their punt coverage unit, same concept here. Where would you guess them to be on punt coverage?
well, seeing it as you said, same concept. Let's go with 32.
You are
ding,
correct.
ding, 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 ding. You got a winner. So we have a team that is very bad at kick and punt coverage, allowing lots of yards. In fact, I believe they allowed a punt or a kick return for a touchdown, one of the two last week. So just a real opportunity for Kayshawn Williams this week, as he's been close a few times. Could this be the week he busts one?
I hope so.
I think there's a decent
Yeah,
chance.
32. Like, let it be. Let
That's
it be.
it.
Let Keyshawn cook.
True.
And speaking of Keyshawn, let's talk about our keys to success here as we start getting to the tail end of the show. We need to know how Pittsburgh's going to beat this Chargers team. So it's time for us to each come up with 2 keys to success. Who wants to be the one to start it off? Jill, do you want to go first today?
I can go first. Whatever's easiest.
I'll tell you what. You can go first then.
All right.
And then we'll see how it goes from there.
All right. My first key to success is we've got to make sure that we immobilize Herbert. So they are 10th overall with their rushing yards. And to make sure that we are winning this game, we need to stop the run game completely. I feel like every game where we've been able to stop the run, it doesn't always guarantee success, but it guarantees that we're not going to fail. And so, like, at least we're not getting like totally snuffed out. And then we're able to add the splash play with the defense. But I think if we continue to stop the run and really make sure that we are keeping Herbert mobilized, we will win this game.
Do you have a keep them under X amount of yardage thought in mind?
Under 50.
Under 50 yards rushing.
Yes.
All right, I like
I
it.
think with that, I think because they've got such a bad O-line, I think he's going to try to be more mobile against us.
Mhm.
And which I get. I mean, if you've got this beat up O-line and our defense is coming at you, we got to make sure we're looking for those quick releases, which I think we're going to see a lot of that, or he's going to run, is what I foresee happening in this game. So
I think that's a great key there, Jill. I was just looking over the team stats, and against the Titans last week, no, against the Titans. So take what you will see here and hear here with a grain of salt. But Herbert was the leading rusher. He had 9 carries, which tied the backup running back, Jarrett Patterson. But he also led the team in rushing with 57 rushing yards. He had a long for 29. Kamani Vidal had the most carries on the team, 12 for 30. Patterson, 9 for 44. But if we can limit his rushing, and especially if we can keep it under 50, I think we'll be off to a good start. I like the key a lot.
Very cool. Nick, would you like to give your first one next?
I'm going to go in a similar vein, but I want to see us get at least 5 sacks. I think it's very doable. The Chargers have been battered at O-line and are currently, I believe, allowing the 5th most sacks in the league. With what we saw in this pass rush last week, we know it's still there. We know it can get going. And I think with the battered O-line, with being able to hopefully diagnose the run, hopefully being able to stuff the run, I want to see the pass rush be very effective. So I want to see 5 sacks in this game. I think that's very doable.
TJ, where you at?
Absolutely. Time for him to ramp it up so your prediction goes.
I know.
For those of you who didn't catch that show when we did our predictions at the beginning of the year, Jill, you had him for what, 22 this year?
23.
23? Yeah, you had him breaking the record.
I did.
Yeah. He's got 5, so
we've got a long way to go. But with a
we-
battered O-line, I mean, just come
TJ
on,
gets 5 this game alone.
5 this game just for TJ.
Definitely need some multi-sack games from TJ to make that happen. So
Yeah.
maybe all of them might need to be multi-sack. So my first key is going to be a special teams key. I want to see a 50-plus yard kick return and a 30-plus yard punt return from Pittsburgh in this game.
Okay.
If there is a team that you can do it against, this is it. We just talked about it. They have the worst punt coverage unit. They have the worst kick coverage unit. So this is time to really take advantage of that, and at least 150-plus yard kick return and 130-plus yard punt return in this game. And I think it's very doable, especially with the skill set Keyshawn Williams has. So there is key number one, and it's almost 2 there. So hopefully that's not not going too far on that.
I like it.
Key number 2 for me is going to be containing Justin Herbert in the passing side of things. So I want to see Herbert at 250 or less passing yards. Lately, it's just been a lot of these highly skilled quarterbacks going for 300, 350 plus yards on us. Last week was starting to trend in the right direction again, kind of gave up some garbage yards at the end of the game that didn't really count as much, but still looks bad in the stat columns. Let's keep Herbert under 250 this week, because the best part of this offense is the passing game.
Yeah.
So if we can limit that, I think there's no reason we should not win this game.
Like it.
Nick, you want your second one up?
Yeah, absolutely. I had one, and then it went out of my brain 2 seconds ago.
Oh no.
You can have
Oh,
Joe
no.
if you'd like.
Yeah, Jill, go ahead. I'll remember.
Okay. Well, I'm torn between 2. That's the problem. Because my one key to success I'll go this one. When we win the turnover battle, we have to produce points on the turnover battle.
Okay.
So I think last week we saw 24
24.
turnovers,
Yes.
which led to huge success. So I think that is increasingly important, especially because, again, we've got a battered up O-line. And so our defense, I think, is going to be able to do their job and create turnovers. That's the culture of our team. It's to stop a run game, and it's to create splash and get turnovers. And so I need our offense to continue producing points. I would like to see more touchdowns versus field goals. I think we rely a little too much on Boswell, but 3 points is 3 points. But at least making sure we get points on the board every time the ball is turned over.
So what do you got as far as points off of turnovers? How many do you want to see?
Well, that's the problem, because I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I would like to see,
Or let's put it this way: successful scoring opportunities off of turnovers, like score 4 or 5 times off of turnovers.
I would like at least 3.
Okay.
Thank you for helping me remember my key, because it's similar but not the same.
Gotcha.
I'm stealing one of Cody's from, I believe, last week. I want to see us finish drives. I don't want to stall out, and it kind of comes off of turnovers too. But in the drives where we're just owning the ball, let's put it in the end zone. I don't want to see them finished in field goals. Like Jill said, I want to give Boz the week off, except for extra points, which will not be good for my fantasy team, but will be great for my heart rate. So I love Boz. He's, as Tomlin said, a serial killer, but I don't want him to have to be a serial killer. I want him to be able to sit back and have a nice, relaxing week, just putting some PATs through. So I would like to see at least 3 drives end in the end zone. And I want them to be our drives, not drives off of turnovers. So, I mean, if the
Okay.
Chargers get the ball to start the game and we just create a turnover every time they have the ball, so be it. But if we get the ball naturally by shutting them down, or we win the toss and we elect to receive, I would like to see us punch the ball in the end zone when we have the ball naturally and not rely on the defense to create the turnovers to get us in the end zone.
Which could then be, my sneaky third point, key to success, is our offensive play count needs to be, it's our play count for our defense versus our offense at this point in the season is a little alarming.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's sustainable. So if we really want to be like the playoff push that we're all, that's kind of creeping in the air here of us potentially having a postseason run and a good one, we have to get our offensive snap count up, and create those, what you're saying, Nick, like a long sustained drive that does produce the points, and hopefully a little bit more explosive plays. I would like to see some more explosive plays on the offense. Anyway, but that's sorry, I get a key bonus. My bad.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Not
You're
kidding.
more than good. That brings us to score predictions before we wrap up the show. Do either one of you have like a strong conviction that you got to go first on? No.
Not a strong conviction, but for some reason, I'm just feeling it's going to be 27-21, Pittsburgh on top.
Wow.
I don't know why I feel it's going to be that way, but I feel we travel well. I want us to contain Herbert, but I feel like he's going to dash us with his legs. And I feel like it's going to end up being a close game, despite the fact that I feel like it should not be. Before I ended up using Cody's setup today, I had Dare I Be Excited Part 2 as my underlying descriptor here. So I know we all voted against Pittsburgh last week. I'm cautiously voting for them this week.
I like it. Joe, what are you thinking this week?
I'm going back and forth. At the beginning of this show, I was like, we're losing. We're taking the L. I already know. But my heart just says that we're going to win, and I hate being in that spot. But I think it's going to be 2014, and we're going to end up on top.
Excellent. So we got 2 Pittsburgh win predictions going on here.
Even though we're the underdog by like 3.5.
The superstition in me does not like this.
I know. I would flip it to the Chargers.
Well, I'm not bucking the trend here, guys. I got Pittsburgh on a win too.
All right.
So I'm going to go with 24-17. Pittsburgh winning in this one. Finally getting a team a little bit below 20 points. Time to start shutting some of these guys out and not allowing a ton. So all 3 of us going with Pittsburgh Steelers winning this game. Feel free to put your predictions and your keys to success in the comments below on YouTube or on Facebook, wherever you want to follow us. Nick, you want to get us out of here?
Absolutely. We can't thank you enough for listening. Please go ahead and give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I believe we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review. Make James over fingers are backwards. Make James over there very happy. And until next time, these are your hosts, Nick Pretzel, Joe from Ohio, and James Strongator Strong signing off.
Peace.